Ladies and gents, this full moon is about going out into the city, going out around people, and making sure that you share your wealth, whether it's actually food, money, love. You have a wealth and abundance of something. And you go out to the city, you go and collect people that are on an emotionally charged mission and path that is aligned with you. That said, I'm running memberships with the Astro Economy. We're meeting again this Sunday. I'm going out there to say, if you have been waiting and craving a community, a network where you can learn, give feedback, and honestly get free information in game, as well as focus on Tai Chi and Qigong, where you're using these healing modalities to get anxiety, depression, sadness, karma that gets trapped and stored in the pancreas, the lungs, the body, out of the body, then you want to come ahead and tap in with us, because we're always doing breath work. We're not just learning as scholars, we're learning as scholars, and we're being active as warriors at the same time. And in my opinion, that's what emotionally I'm connected to. So stay tuned to this message on this Pushya full moon. Love. Thumbs up. Thank you for the likes and the subscribe. If you're brand new, I want to say I appreciate you for being here. If you're returning, you the GOAT. If you made it this far already, I want you to drop down a wave, just a wave of water, a wave of emotion, all right, down in the chat. Thank you for being here. Love. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a full moon coming right now, January 25th, 2024, first full moon of the year, okay? This is the wood dragon year, so it's a year of really getting after it in a lot of ways. The dragon is a very fierce creature when you look at the Chinese zodiac. But with that said, we're going to be focusing today on a Vedic lens. So do understand that for all my other followers who are still in the mindset as well of tropical. I'm going to tell you why I'm focusing on this one. The full moon is in Leo and tropical right now, and the full moon will be in Cancer in Vedic astrology, or what could be known as sidereal, okay? And the sun is still in Capricorn. The reason I'm focusing on this is because this entire moon is about listening to what the gods have said. The gods, the priest, you know, the person who advises you, the minister, right? And what they've told me is they need to know about the Pushya full moon. So the Pushya full moon is, Pushya equates to Cancer. It is one of the three Nakshatras or constellations. Nakshatra equates to constellation in astrology for Cancer. And then for the sun is something called Shravana. And it's another Nakshatra, one of three constellations in the Capricorn section of the sky. Now, what's important about this full moon, Pushya is represented by a cow's udder, a bosom, or a blossoming flower. Okay, now that's one step. Step two, Shravana or Capricorn, okay, the sun of Capricorn is represented by 3 footsteps or the ear. Okay, so when it's, the sun is asking us to be disciplined, the king, okay, is asking us, the sun is the king, right? It's the life. It gives life to everything. Oh, it's shining strong and bright as hell on my face right now, right? The king is asking for us to listen for educational purposes to the hidden messages. If you listen to the hidden message in between the voids of what people are saying, of what you are learning from a guru, a teacher, a friend, a high political figure, or just somebody in a high status, somebody you revere, anybody you respect deeply, okay? When you listen to them, the ear, and you have discipline with your listenings, you will find the hidden meanings behind everything being said to you. This is a sign of patience, yet with all the retrogrades gone, as well as with this particular Shravana, we think of Capricorn as a slow sign ruled by Saturn. But this sign, this Nakshatra is actually ruled, Capricorn is ruled only in this Nakshatra by the moon. And the moon is the fastest moving planet or body, okay? Even faster than Venus. It moves really, really quickly, right? Through each zodiac sign. Every 2 to 3 days, it's a new zodiac sign. So Capricorn is still a work-driven creature. And the sun now meeting the full moon of Cancer is saying, we need to, and I have some of my notes right here, okay? We need to nourish, blossom, and flower, okay? Our success, what's going to bring fruition, our meditation practices, our devotion, our growth, our morality, our prayer, in order for our career and our finances and our connections to flourish and to blossom, which is a lot of what this is about, because Capricorn or Shravana, is squaring Jupiter in Aries in Western / Vedic astrology. Jupiter in Aries is the nakshaktra of, or constellation, Ashwini. And Ashwini is about these two twin horsemen who ride into the city and they collect with their wealth more wealth. They take their good health and they give out good health. They are healers. They are literally spiritual surgeons, especially run by what could be considered the South Node. It's literally governed by that energy. Yet, and though it's governed by that energy, Aries is currently in the nakshaktra of the moon. So again, another fast-moving planet. So what am I saying? This is a full moon, which is a conduit to reaching supreme service, supreme and divine knowledge, as well as your full potential, a very enduring potential. Enduring like a mother who is protecting her youth, her children, who will make masculine decisions as a mom in order to 444 on screen. Look at that, 444 on screen. And to make masculine decisions in order to actually nurture them with the bosom and help them blossom and help them flower into everything that they're becoming. Now, if I go back to the 3 steps of Shravana, okay, the sun sign, the king, is asking us, where there's a myth where Vishnu went, disguised himself. He was like a scholar and a dwarf, and he disguised himself. And I got this more from Victor Kara, so shout out to you. And every time you learn something from somebody, make sure you give them a shout out. It's very good for your Jupiter placement. It's a very positive remedy. So I'm getting this a lot. Some of this information is coming from Victor Kara, so check his astrology channel. When you take these 3 steps, and I'm also getting this from Kapil, okay, from KRS Astrology. So definitely check his channel, KRS Astrology. These have been 2 of my mentors in this Vedic space. And Brihaspati, which is Jupiter, as well as Vishnu, which you've all heard, okay, the preserver of life, Vishnu is in charge of Capricorn. Brihaspati is another god who's the guru of the gods itself, the priest of the gods. The gods come to Brihaspati to ask for advice. When they're in trouble, they go see this god. Now, what this is asking from us is, or what both of them did, they have 3 steps. And they asked, and they said, boom. The king's like, you only want 3 steps worth of my land? And this god was like, yes, that's all I need. Now what happened, in his disguise as a dwarf, this little small dwarf, that 3 steps is 1, 2, 3, grew in size. So the first step basically took over the world. The second step, he was already in outer space, out in atmosphere. The third space, he had nowhere else to land. And that was the mastery and the wisdom of, 1, listening, the air of Shravana, us listening to the connections that we make. Realizing that you may not have the wealth of the Ashwinis from a monetary standpoint, but you have a wealth of beauty. You have a wealth of health. You have a wealth of connections. Okay? You have a wealth of food as a store owner. You look at what you have a wealth of. And this is the square. And when you listen, you hear in your connections, this is my opportunity to step in and offer this wealth of X, Y, and Z. So this full moon is literally all about, okay, understanding that morality and faith equates to the divine, listening and being able to hear what the divine says. So when I bring this full circle, I didn't want to do the Leo full moon video because the divine told me I want to do this one. I need to do this one. I need to help people bridge the gap between Vedic and tropical and realize that there's no separation and that they're actively, simultaneously active. Okay? Now, in order to understand that, the reason why this worked is this full moon in Cancer, or Pushya, is literally about preparing. It's about preparation. So I have these notes from a month ago because I did research. You probably can't see that. I did research on this a month ago. And I was ahead of moon. So I already had this. So this information, okay, this divine wisdom has been basically plotting in my head, in my mind. And it's probably not the most popular, which going towards the full moon in Leo would have been, let's say, popular. But this is what the divine told me to do. So I'm here. Now, when I look at this and I go full circle, this full moon is asking us this. It's telling us that in order to put knowledge into action, it's important to do it little by little. So you can test the advice of your mentors, of your gurus, of your teachers, right? So I'll use an example. I'm taking Spanish classes. I met somebody. I went out into the city, right? I met a girl. I told her, I want to learn Spanish. Do you know somebody? She reaches out to her friend. Her friend reaches out to her friend who was from the U.S. and reaches back to me, gives me this contact. I reach out to this guy. I take my first class. The girl reaches out. She says, boom, how was the class? Yada, yada, yada. I then go to her. In truth, I'm highly critical about my education. So I cannot give you an honest assessment about how my first class was. The best I can do is let you know as I take strides. She responds. She says, that sounds smart. And then she drops a deer emoji. Don't even know why, but I'm thinking, I'm like, wow, I just got acupuncture, okay, which is this full moon in Cancer or Pushya to take care, to nurture. You see the acupuncture steps in my ears, releasing emotions that have been stuck and trapped in my body from traumas, pains, things that have not been expressed, emotions that have been repressed, that ultimately has this negative impacts from me in this healing and service industry. I've taken on too many people things. Okay, so what this is saying, right? Pushya, Cancer, the moon is here to nurture, right? And to listen to the divine. So now when I seen the deer is about being compassionate, being gentle. And when you're finding yourself being overly concerned and highly protective, to step into nature or to nurture your children or to be around children, right? So this is the Pushya full moon. Now, with that said, it's also about giving without returning expectations. In Sanskrit, the word is called Dan, D-A-A-N. It's to give without expectation. Now, I will also say that if you have a Venus in the 8th house, do not accept donations. Do not accept donations. Do not accept donations. Do not accept donations. When I say donation, I mean something that was somebody else's that they're now making yours. Don't accept it. It's going to be bad for you if you have Venus in the 8th house. Other than that, okay, I'm not going to say nothing else. That don't mean you can't give, though. So give without expectations. Now, it also says that the social welfare is to infuse emotions into your creativity. So ultimately, Cancer in this full moon is bringing enlightenment to the fact that our emotional service has to be connected in our business. Okay, in order to take care of your business and to nourish your business, you have to be emotionally connected to the work that you're doing. If you're not, first off, you're not listening to what the king says. Why? Because the king, the sun, is in Shravana, the constellation of Capricorn, 111 on screen. The Shravana of Capricorn was ruled by what? The moon, which is to nourish, which means an emotional connection to your career, to your work. Every time you step out in public, are you emotionally connected to the things you're doing that are nurturing your business, right? Really, like it's simply just flat out about that. If I look at it for me and myself, like I want to do more, oh crap, I want to do more business in Mexico. What does that mean? I need to speak the language. Okay, so the language, I haven't had my microphone, retrograde got me jacked up, but whatever, it's cool. I haven't been able to speak my language or speak the language of the people here. Crap, can I get this back? Okay, I need to be able to speak the language. Boom. So that is me emotionally feeling connected to the culture. Cancer, culture, moon, homeland. You see what I'm saying? So that's just one level and one way I can kind of bring some light into this. And I also just want to say, like, don't forget that Jupiter, which in Vedic astrology, and pretty much all astrology, it is the guru. It is where you get your spiritual advice. The spiritual advice is that you're going to need to move quickly. Because Ashwini's Aries, this is the first nakshatra in the sky. This is the first zodiac. And Aries moves very quickly, but it doesn't move alone. They're twins, meaning you can never have all the wealth. You can never have all the fame. You can never have all the resources. You have to find the people that's worth sharing those resources with and ultimately completely diffuse the boundaries and the borders between cultures, language, societies. In order to do that, we have to step outside of our comfort shells and then realize that you're not going to be the best at everything, but you have a wealth of something. So if you use this sun and what the king is asking you to listen to what the emotional needs and the minds are saying of the people, as well as the voices, you will then be able to come back in and you listen to the spiritual wisdom, make moral decisions, and actually use these words of wisdom. But it equates to you have to use these words of wisdom before you strike gold. This is a transit of tremendous success, fruition, abundance, overflowing, wealth, overflowing, release and surrender, which the moon does. It releases and surrender of emotions that are not yours from people and things that you have taken care of or ways that you have not taken care of yourself, right? Put the knowledge into action, but do it little by little, kind of how it said. And that way you understand when you are coming across bad advice. Because when you listen to a guru or a mentor or a teacher, you're going to have bad advice at times. So in order to know that and do that, what you really need to do is take the time to realize that bad advice can only be understood as you put it into action. But don't jump in head first, which the Aries square might want to do. Might hear something and go, oh wow, this is a great opportunity, let me jump on it. But then it jumps too deeply in and too quickly in, and it finds itself making mistakes in the process. You understand what I'm saying? So with that said, this is the Master of Progress transit on this full moon in Pushya, but it's all about making progress, ladies and gentlemen. You have to make progress by making effort, commit, prepare. But committing and preparing for what? Something that you're emotionally connected to. If you're not emotionally connected to it, and you go into the city and you collect people, you collect resources, you collect money, life is going to find a way to take it back. Why? Because Ashwini or Aries is ruled by the nakshatra of Ketu, which is the south node, which is about separation and not about material gains. It's not about material success. It is naturally successful, it's naturally wealthy because it is dived into what could be considered the collective unconscious, okay? The heartbeat, the pulse of everybody and everything. So it always has that wealth. Yet and still, if you do so out of alignment, if you do so against, its nature to make sure that it's the twins, that it's sharing that wealth, okay, then you will also essentially fail. So this is what I have for you for the Pushya full moon. I'm not going to do forecasts on this particular message. That has just been what's told to me. And this entry step into it is the Leo full moon for other people in tropical astrology. And that's what I have for you. Thank you for being here, hitting the thumbs up. Check and join our memberships. This is me stepping out, talking to you, walking into the city and saying, look, if you want to join a membership this Sunday, we're going to meet up and check in on January 27th. And then after that, 2 more weeks later, we're going to meet again. All right. Beyond that, check out the upcoming lives that we have. Thank you for hitting the likes and the thumbs up. If you're brand new and you enjoyed this video, I will be producing more Vedic and Siddhara content, but I also will be finding a way to make sure that I fuse the two together. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I love you. I'll see you soon.